The 3D is always in movement. It's always conforming, even if you don't notice it. Stay tuned. We're going to dive in deep to this. Hey everyone, my name is Kim Velez. I am a conscious life coach, former trauma therapist, and I get to do what I fucking love every day, which is level myself up and then teach everyone else how to do the same. Like, this is what the world is about. We're supposed to heal our own shit, overcome any limiting beliefs that are preventing us from getting what we want, and then inspire others around us. I just choose to do it professionally as well, but you don't have to, right? You can also do it just in your own personal life. So I didn't know if you catch my last video. I kind of did two things. One, I didn't really dive in deep into what the second reason was as to why the universe is not testing us. So I'm going to make the video about that. And I'm going to be sitting on my hands again, working on not talking with them so much. So I might break that pattern a little bit as I'm learning how to master this new version of myself. So today is so important. This video is so important because so many of you forget this. And listen, when I had a low self-concept and love and I was reprogramming that and I didn't know my worth and value, I would forget this as well. And sometimes I still do, because being human, we don't do everything perfectly. It's impossible. And don't write in the comments, Kim, that's a limiting belief, because it's not. You don't understand how the brain works. And the goal is not about being perfect. The goal is about being the best you. That's all that matters. And when you understand when you actually know you're worthy to receive what you want, and it's like a fact for you, and you've reprogrammed any self-concept or any belief pattern that has made you believe otherwise, then you already know what you want is inevitable. And you don't allow 3D to sway you. It may trigger you for a moment. You may feel insecure and doubt. There are thoughts that are going to pop up when you are triggered, because we can't control the thoughts that pop up, but we can control if we choose to dwell in those thoughts or we choose to redirect our mind elsewhere. And that's what mastering your mind is about. It's about you consciously choosing what you would rather experience and not focusing on what you don't want to experience. So the 3D is always conforming. The 3D is always conforming. It's always conforming. It is always conforming. And so many people forget that. So many people are needing validation and confirmation from someone outside of them. You're looking for evidence. A lot of you give up your power when you say, show me a sign if this is working for me, right? No, we don't do that. That's someone who doesn't know their worth and value. That's someone who is not empowered. That is someone who does not understand that they create their own reality. So we don't seek signs. We are the sign. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is this, is you decide who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. And then you do the inner work in you by reprogramming any belief systems that tell you you can't have those things or be that way. And you do that over and over again until you know a different truth for you. That's literally what you're doing. Everyone is a mirror to you, meaning things will change. The reflection will change when you change. And a lot of you forget that. A lot of you, because you don't understand that. All right, let's look at this. So we, as human beings, we experience our life through our five senses. This is how we process information: is what am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? And what am I touching? And all of that is happening. So every day you're walking around Earth, right? Wherever you live, whatever you're doing, from the time you wake up until you go to sleep, this is what's going on. Your brain is processing billions of bits of information all day long from everything going on around you that you're not even paying attention to. And then it does this amazing thing where it distorts, it deletes, and it retains things. So it will usually distort, meaning it will attach a meaning to something that you're experiencing outside of you based off your perception of self and your perception of that circumstance, your perception of that area of your life. I mean, we can go on and on. So it will twist the information. It will create a meaning to make sure that your belief system of what you believe to be true is correct. The other thing it does is it deletes. So when we're walking around and just living our life and the brain is picking up all this information, it's going to delete and not retain what it doesn't feel is necessary. This is why people memory recall is not the best. So your subconscious memory is pretty much flawless. It's just the conscious recall of it is not. So your brain is recording everything around you, but you're not aware of most of it because it's not important. It's not a threat that you're perceiving emotionally or physically. It's not validating a meaning that you believe. It's not a focus or a problem that you're most likely worrying about, things like that. That's what your brain tends to focus on. So it's doing all of this automatically. That's how it operates. That's how the organ is running. Now, what tends to happen is that because you are like here, I'm sitting in my office, right? So I have a window and a door over there, and then I have a door over here. Because I'm in this office and I'm not looking out the window and I'm not, I didn't open the door and go outside, I don't know who's around the building. I don't know what cars are driving by. I don't know what people are doing. I can't see through walls, so I don't know. I can hear them, but I can't see through the walls, so I don't know what, the neighbors are doing around me. I don't know the conversations they're having. I don't know who's driving, around the building. I don't know what's going on in their life. So I'm not seeing 99% or in tune with 99% of the billions of bits of information that are going on. So just because I can't see these people, does that mean no one's driving around outside? Does that mean that no one's in the other offices? Does that mean that no one is driving around the back over here or the front or driving around any of the other roads or walking around or going in and out of any of these buildings? No, right? We live with 8.5 billion people on the planet. I live in South Florida. It's densely populated. There are people fucking walking around, driving everywhere constantly all the time. But I'm using this analogy because I want you guys to understand what you're doing. What you're doing when you're affirming for a specific person or new love or more money or the better job or whatever it is that you want or all of the above, this is what you're doing. Oh, I didn't get the text. It's not working. Oh, I submitted 3 job applications and I got rejected by all. It's not working. Oh, I submitted job applications and I texted SP and I heard nothing back. Or, they texted me, but they didn't say exactly what I wanted to hear. When you're doing that, you're deciding that because it doesn't, show you word for word of what you were affirming or wanting to hear or experience, or because it didn't reflect perfectly back the desired outcome you wanted in that moment, you've already decided it's not conforming. You've already decided you're not getting what you want. And the problem with that is you're allowing outside to control you. You're not mastering your mind and you're not reprogramming your belief. And you're vetting the circumstances and attaching meanings that support you being right about you. So when you are doing that, that means you have a low self-concept. That means you don't know your worth and value. That means you're still believing that no one wants you, that you're not going to get the job you desire, that you're not worthy of being chosen for love, for having the money, whatever, et cetera, right? So what you have to do instead is you have to start understanding this and recognizing this and reminding yourself that just because I'm not experiencing it right now, this second, with any of my 5 senses, that still is not evidence or valid proof that it's not unfolding in my favor. A lot of you forget this. I have forgotten this many times, and I had to remind myself of this many times, that I don't know when the 3D is going to conform. None of us know that. No one can predict that. Sometimes we can just say, okay, this is when it's going to happen. I want it by this date, and boom, we manifest it by that. And sometimes we don't. But just because it doesn't manifest when you think it should doesn't mean it's not conforming. And you guys forget this. Neville was really clear where he said, whatever it is that you're manifesting, whether it takes one person or a million to move, they will all move to bring you what you want. So when we're consciously manifesting and we don't see with our 5 senses right now, it still doesn't mean that it isn't moving and conforming. You don't know in that second what SP is starting to think about you. You don't know in that second what is going to happen at the dream job that you want. You know how many clients I've had? This has happened to me too, where they've created new positions out of thin air because the person was like, I did this too. The person was like, I'm deciding that I want to work in this role at this job for this price, and they didn't even have the fucking existing role, or they didn't have like an available position for that role. And then within like a couple weeks or a month, like, guess what? They got the fucking job exactly how they wanted. They got the role. The job ended up creating an additional role for them to do because they manifested it. So when they decided that's what was going to happen, shit started moving in the background. You just weren't privy to it. So whether it was somebody just randomly quit and went somewhere else, or they met as a team and said, you know what, we need to create another role in this area. We need more support. And then boom, like people are getting ideas, conversations are happening, self-awareness and others are they're starting to reflect and see things different and have different opinions and different thoughts. That's why we can influence. That is your influence on your reality. So just because these internal things are happening and you're not privy to it, it doesn't mean it's not conforming. So you have to remind yourself of this. So you stop disempowering yourself and you start manifesting what you fucking want because it really is up to you, and only you can create that for yourself. So if you are someone who's interested and you want to become a coach and you feel really called to help others, or maybe you are already a coach and you are wanting to level up and learn some powerful mastery level techniques, I got your back, babes. Maritsa and I created a certification program where we took what we know works and all the different treatment modalities that we've invested in and had our training, both being long-term therapists as well as coaches, and really curated an amazing coaching certification program so we can teach you to help your clients actually get massive transformation. And you feel better as a coach because you know you're able to help and serve your client. So we're super excited to announce this. We're going live March 8th with the program. We've made it an affordable, accessible price. If you're interested, please click the link below. And if you're interested in not becoming a coach, but you want to level up your mindset so you can manifest a new SP, the same SP, you want to manifest your self-concept, money, lifestyle, your whole life, whatever it is, right? Basically your dream life, what you consider to be your dream life, then we got your back too. And that is our Striking Brilliance mindset coaching program. Again, we slash prices in half because we want to make this shit as accessible and affordable to as many people as possible. And we would love to have you there. All the links are below in details. If you have specific questions about those two programs after you read the links, because we put pretty much, I think, all of the information on there. But if you have some questions, just shoot us an email. All right, guys, I love you. Remember, 3D is always conforming. Bye.